he had a diplomat for a father, and he lived in a town called Salé, near Rabat on the coast. As a young boy, he told us that he used to look out of the window and gaze out to sea, longing to see pirate ships. That was his idea of heaven, to see ships and to imagine piracy out there. He began drawing, and as you can see on the left there, his first pirate ship, possibly not a pirate ship, I think in fact it's a crusader ship. What really is interesting is that it hasn't changed very much from the ship that he drew about 40 years later. John grew up, went to school, and he was ripe for the army in 1940. He did not like being in the army one bit, and he got into a lot of trouble for caricaturing his superior officers, for whom he had little time. He was in Burma, and there were a lot of officers around, and a great many that he felt did nothing at all but party. So you can see really from that what his feelings were, I think. After that, he finally got back home to the UK and went to art school. Art school was the Regent Street Polytechnic in London, where this is a painting he did of his art class under the tutelage of one Norman Blamey, whom you can see in the right-hand side in a smock with a belt and fair hair, gesturing at a work. Coming in through the door, obviously late for the art class, is my mother, as she would become, Priscilla Ryan, and that's a painting that he did of her at that time. We're now in the late 1940s. Now, after art school, John taught in a couple of schools, but he did not enjoy teaching. He didn't feel he was very good at it, although I've met pupils of his who said that he was absolutely fine. In 1950, newly married to Priscilla, he was offered the job of art master at Harrow School for Boys. He turned this job down despite the fact, or perhaps because of the fact, that it brought with it a secure future, a house to live in, and a salary. To his parents-in-law dismay, after a night drinking wine with his new wife, they said, no, we'll turn it down. He was going to be a commercial artist. And very luckily, a friend of theirs introduced him to the Reverend Marcus Morris, who was starting Eagle magazine for boys. This magazine was supposed to have a relatively high moral tone, rather in opposition to some of the American comics that were doing the rounds at the time. It was supposed to be a little bit educational and have a high standard of writing and of illustration. And my father produced Captain Pugwash. Pugwash was born. He didn't know how he happened. He doodled, and on the page a pirate hat appeared. The Reverend Marcus Morris accepted Captain Pugwash as a strip, and he lasted for 19 episodes before he was thrown out for being too childish. Now, he was thrown out, but he didn't go away. He lay in the background while his replacement arrived. Harris Tweed, super sleuth. I don't know if any of you are Eagle fans, yes, but Harris Tweed was very popular and ran for years, first in black and white and eventually in colour. And what it says in that picture on the right here is when Pugwash meets Harris Tweed, they both have been in Eagle magazine, but Pugwash and Harris Tweed are saying, and what do you think you're doing in my magazine? So Pugwash was never going to go very far, and in 1957, four if you include my birth, but three very important things happened. The first Pugwash book, having been rejected by 12 publishers, was accepted by the Bodley Head. That picture on the left there, that illustration is an early version of the cover of the very first book. On the right you see a later edition. In the same year, the Radio Times commissioned a cartoon strip, which was weekly and which went a long way towards financing John, who had, by this time, 3 children, 1 dog, 1 wife, and many lodgers. Captain Pugwash starts life rather thin, but as he becomes older, he chubs out a little. So by the time 1965 has arrived, at the bottom, the Fairy Godmother cartoon, the strip, you can see he's a little different from that one at the top left there. Now I'm going to show you about 5 minutes worth of the first Captain Pugwash black and white film. I don't know if any of you watched, I think it was BBC, the Rolling Stones, the right one?
Well,
Ronnie?
it was Keith Richards.
Sorry, Keith, was it Keith?
Yes.
He took over the running of BBC for several, BBC Two for several evenings, and he showed all the things that he liked as a child. So we are now going to have his hand pressing a video into a slot, and then you'll see what happens next. If we're